Should Ferrari force Hamilton to retire? Is the team regretting signing Hamilton? And by extension, could Lewis choose to leave the sport at the end of the season? The answer to all these questions is a resounding yes. Rumours are swirling in the F1 paddock, and there are whispers that Ferrari is rethinking their decision to hire Hamilton and considering keeping Carlos Sainz instead. But it gets even wild. More rumours say that Ferrari would suggest to Hamilton to reorder his priorities and retire from the sport. While a retirement sounds far-fetched, we will explain how it would make perfect sense for Ferrari, and maybe for Hamilton as well. In any case, Ferrari's boss appears defiant and believes the Hamilton pairing is better for the team. It is better to have two good drivers than one and a half, he said. And that was Uncle Fred, casually referring to Carlos as half a driver. We increasingly can't ignore the fact that Lewis looks like a costly mistake. Whoever pushed for the Hamilton signing at Ferrari must be regretting it. But this does not mean that Hamilton doesn't bring a lot of value. Ralf Schumacher wouldn't call this signing a mistake. He strongly believes Lewis is still world-class, but he also observed that Lewis is beginning to crack. Increasingly, Hamilton is beginning to let go of himself. It is one thing if a team has a bad car, but it is another thing when Russell gets all the preferential treatment. We cannot blame Mercedes for this either. Lewis is leaving, and it sounds logical that the team must start giving more tools to Russell. They need a new number one. The Paddock rumours about a potential Hamilton retirement are hinged on his relatively poor performance compared to Russell, and it is also fueled by the harmony in the Ferrari pairing. The numbers don't lie. Currently, the qualifying duel stands at 1-7, with Russell clearly beating his more experienced colleague. More so, the younger Brit has 54 points to Hamilton's 42. These stats suggest that the 7-time world champion might not be at the peak of his powers at 39, but it has not been smooth sailing with Russell either. While he is outperforming Hamilton, his general performance hasn't been that of a top driver. George often seems dissatisfied and makes mistakes like braking too late or getting bullied by Alonso. Toto's body language has clearly indicated he lacks full confidence in him and he needs a strong driver next to him. In any case, we can no longer ignore the fact that Hamilton is getting roundly beaten by Russell. This subpar showing is making Ferrari second-guess their decision, and this has fueled rumours that they are trying to push the man toward retirement. A Hamilton retirement is perhaps the only way Ferrari doesn't get to cough out the approximately $400 million over 2 years. It makes logical sense that Ferrari would want him to retire, but this is impractical. However, could there be a way for Ferrari to break the contract while only parting with a fraction of the money? What we know about the Hamilton contract is that it is a 1+1 deal. If Hamilton doesn't perform in 2025, it could all come crashing down after just a year. This could also work in Carlos's favour if he can secure a Williams deal for just 1 year, as rumoured. The Spaniard might find his way back to Maranello in time for the 2026 regulation. This season, the Spaniard has shown that he is pretty much on par with Hamilton. Ferrari were hasty to sack him, and Hamilton should have stayed back in Mercedes for a year or two. But of course Lewis wanted that 8th title, and Mercedes is incapable of giving him that. Is age beginning to affect Hamilton? Some experts have suggested that age could be a good or bad thing to a driver. In qualifying, for example, the reflexes of a younger driver will always outshine that of a driver closer to his 40s. However, a 40-year-old driver makes up for their slower reflexes with better tyre management and track knowledge. Alonso is an outlier at 42. The key difference between Alonso and Hamilton is that the Spaniard is always highly motivated, even with a bad car. He always gets the maximum out of it. But with Lewis, there is the constant complaint over the radio and he seems to let himself go a bit. This was highlighted by his nagging in Monaco, complaining about tyre choices and instructions. These are legitimate concerns, we just sometimes wish he does it in private. In another light, his constant nagging is also a good thing. It helps to keep the technical guys on their toes. More so if Wolff is the only one constantly complaining to the technical team. Then he would seem like the whiner. If Hamilton were to retire in 2 years or so, it most likely wouldn't be because of the physical demands. What will most likely make him throw in the towel would be the frustration from the car. Unlike Hamilton, Alonso doesn't allow the car to get on his nerves. He simply insists that he is the one who can change things. The Brit, on the other hand, often prefers to impose his style on the car, and structurally, a car simply has limits that a driver must recognise and drive around. While rumours about Ferrari reconsidering Hamilton might be far-fetched, the real issue lies in Hamilton's current performance and his dynamic with Mercedes. The upcoming races will be crucial in determining whether Hamilton can still compete at the highest level or if his illustrious career is nearing its end. What are your impressions about the Hamilton move to Ferrari? Should the team have just stuck with Sainz? Leave us your thoughts in the comments. This is Front Lockout, signing off.